What is it, my ducks and drakes? Welcome to the Crawdad Lake. Today is day 12 of the Gift of Fanfiction, a month-long event where I read a holiday or winter-themed one-shot for the month of December. Before we begin, I would like to let you know that you could submit your own one-shot using the form link in the description below, or if you want more info in general, there is a video where I go into more detail about this. There's also a link in the description to the Wattpad book where I'm writing all of these one-shots in, and you can read along in those. You may also be able to get updated if you save the book and get to read one-shots before they come out on my channel, which is pretty cool. So with that, let's move on to Professor Hidgens' Hidden Holiday, a Starkid, or the guy who did like musicals one-shot, day 12. It was around the time of the holidays, and Professor Henry Hidgens was alone in his survival bunker. The end of the world could be upon them at any time. He couldn't escape to see family and friends, just in case they turned on him. He was paranoid, pacing back and forth. He was on his 11th year in isolation. It was funny because he predicted most of the human population would go crazy and leave after only 3 months in isolation. He missed being out with his family for the holidays. He missed the smell of his aunt's roasted ham and the sound of his cousins running around screaming with the bop it they all would have a hand at. He wanted to recreate that warmth, the fire of the feeling, without leaving his home. So he did what any reasonable, unreasonable person would do and built a companion and a child. It took him a long time to get there, but he found the right parts. But he was able to make a good replica of his ex-boyfriend, Chad, who he missed dearly. He even created a daughter for the two of them and named her Heavenly. He stared into Chad's eyes, knowing that he would never reasonably be standing here. The whole reason Henry and his soulmate Chad broke up was because Henry wanted to live in the bunker. Chad told him that if he had to hide from the world, then it was a world not worth living, and he would rather be taken by the apocalypse. So Henry was left to his own devices. He then powered on his first and only love with his daughter. "Father?" was the first thing he heard from the little girl. He bent down, putting a soft hand on her artificial shoulder. "Yes, sweetie." She looked dead in his eyes. "I know I'm not real. Neither is Dad. What are we doing here?" Henry, of course, was not expecting for what he programmed to have the mind of a 7-year-old child to think in such a way. Even Chad, who was programmed beforehand, didn't think as such. So the professor answered delicately. "Well, you're here so that we can all be a happy family." The girl looked back into the distance, then back at Hidgens. "But we're not happy. I have to live, knowing I'm not really alive. Dad has to live being oblivious to what he is, and you? Father, you're the worst. You are crazy. You think you could live in a bunker all your life and not be the one to cause your own demise. You will take yourself down before any plague or world end does. Or maybe your offspring will." Heavenly then jumped at her father, taking his neck and snapping it in half. Thank you so much for listening to today's story. If you would like to submit your own one-shot, please do with the links in the description. There is also a link to my Etsy shop where you could buy beaded things for the holidays, but I cannot guarantee it'll be there before Christmas, but it works for any time. They're really good beaded things. And then there's links in the description to my social medias, such as Wattpad, Twitter, Instagram, and others, including my channel Discord, where you could talk to other ducks and drakes. Thank you for listening, and much like Henry, trying not to feel so alone, do your best.